Welcome to the Justice League where the truth meets power. She walked into their home with honor stitched into every step, and they still looked down on her. Simone Jordan wasn't just anyone. She was the top of her law class, a courtroom warrior in heels, and a daughter who had carved her name into a world that tried to shut her out. But to her boyfriend's family, she was just a black girl who got lucky. What they didn't know was that the fire inside her wasn't just for show, it was built from years of resilience, pain, and undeniable brilliance. This is the story of how one woman turned mockery into silence, doubt into power, and prejudice into shame. Before we start the story, comment below where in the world you are watching from today, and if you like the story, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future stories like this one. The plane hummed as it descended into the small Virginia town. Simone Jordan stared out the window, her fingers trembling slightly, not from the cold, but from something far deeper. This visit wasn't just a casual trip to meet her boyfriend's family. It was a test of who she was, a test she had faced many times before, but never like this. Simone had recently delivered the valedictorian speech at Columbia Law. Standing in front of the graduating class, she spoke with conviction, her voice steady even as her heart pounded. But nothing had prepared her for the sting of walking into a room where her excellence was seen as a fluke. She adjusted her blazer and smoothed her curls. "This is it," she whispered. Brandon, her boyfriend of 3 years, waited just outside security. He beamed when he saw her. "There's my future Supreme Court justice," he teased. "Don't jinx it," Simone said, allowing herself a small smile. But behind her eyes, clouds were already forming. The family home stood grand and colonial, nestled among oak trees. The kind of house that spoke of generations and inherited comfort. As Simone stepped inside, the air felt stiff. His mother, Eleanor, gave a tight-lipped smile. "You must be Simone," she said, eyes scanning her like a report. "Yes, ma'am." "A law student, right?" "I just graduated. Valedictorian." "Oh," Eleanor said, barely blinking. "Well, let's see how long that holds up in the real world." The room fell quiet. Brandon forced a laugh. "Mom's just being funny." Simone offered a diplomatic smile, but something twisted in her stomach. Dinner that night was a minefield. Brandon's father, Charles, barely spoke. His brother, Tom, openly questioned Simone's path. "So you got a free ride, huh?" he asked, cutting into his steak. "Merit-based," Simone said calmly. "My GPA was 4.0. My LSAT was in the top 1%. Tom shrugged. "I guess that helps nowadays. Diversity initiatives and all." Simone's fork paused midair. She met Tom's eyes, steady and unblinking. "Excellence helps. Every day. Everywhere." Brandon reached under the table and squeezed her hand, but it felt more like a plea for silence than support. Later that night, Simone sat in the guest room, staring at the ceiling. Her chest was heavy. She'd endured a lifetime of proving herself, yet it never seemed enough. She thought back to her childhood in Atlanta. Her mother, a public school teacher, often stayed up late helping Simone with homework. Her father, a postal worker, taught her how to argue for what was fair. "Your name will carry weight," her mother always said. "So make sure it carries truth." Simone remembered the debate tournaments, the scholarships, the mock trials. Each win earned, not given. She had carved her space in a world that never opened the door. So why did this family make her feel like an imposter in her own life? On the third day, Brandon's family hosted a backyard brunch. Simone wore her best dress and the smile she had perfected for such occasions. The guests, mostly local elites, flocked to her with fake interest. "So, Simone," one woman asked, "what does someone like you do with a law degree?" Simone blinked. "Someone like me? You know, with your background, surely you'll want to work for a nonprofit or something?" Before she could respond, Eleanor swooped in. "Simone has lofty dreams. Supreme Court, Brandon says. Isn't that sweet?" Simone stood up. Quietly. Calmly. But every breath she took felt like fire. "I graduated top of my class. I've clerked under a federal judge. I've won every mock court I entered. And yes, I want to be on the Supreme Court. Not because it's sweet. But because I've earned the right to want it." The backyard fell silent. She turned and walked inside, her heels stabbing the earth with purpose. Brandon found her later, sitting on the porch. "What happened out there?" he asked. She looked at him. "What happened? Or what always happens?" "Simone. I love you," she said, tears finally rising. "But I won't make myself smaller to fit their comfort. Not after everything I've worked for." Brandon hesitated. "They didn't mean it that way." "They never do." She stood up. "You can either stand with me. Or stay in their shadow. But I'm not staying quiet." Later that night, Eleanor knocked on the door. Simone opened it. "I owe you an apology," Eleanor said. "I saw your speech. Brandon showed it to me tonight. I was wrong." Simone nodded. "Thank you." "I didn't think someone like you." Eleanor stopped herself. "No. That's the problem. I didn't see you." Simone let out a long breath. "I didn't need you to. I just needed you not to doubt me before I even spoke." They stood there in silence, awkward, but healing. When Simone boarded her return flight, Brandon kissed her forehead. "Come back soon," he said. "We'll see." She watched the town grow small beneath her. She had gone there seeking acceptance, but left with something better: clarity. Her name, Simone Jordan, carried weight. Not because they believed in it, but because she did. And that was enough. 3 years later, Simone stood before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Her nomination to the U.S. Court of Appeals was underway. And Brandon sat behind her. Proud. Silent. Exactly where he needed to be. End. Like this video, make sure to give thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories.